Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at a new face for the upcoming Belmont Stakes, a horse that skipped both the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, and a horse that might be a strong contender is Rebels Romance, coming all the way from overseas. Let's watch Rebels Romance's last race, this being the UAE Derby, and we see him on the outside. He was wide on the backstretch. He inched up all the way on the turn. He inhales this horse in the stretch, and he changes leads right about now, and he's on his way home.
Yeah, he ran well in this race, Dan. As you mentioned, he was wide off the pace most of the way in here. A very easy winner when all was said and done. You know, how strong this UAE Derby field was, I don't know. But he certainly looked good winning it. He's actually looked good to me in all four of his wins. He's 4 for 5 lifetime. All four of his wins, I thought he looked really good winning. He has that one race, Dan, when they sent him over to the Saudi Derby. He did not run that well that day, but otherwise, this horse has been pretty good.
And of course, his first 4 races came at a mile. This horse really bred to relish the additional distance. So it was no surprise that he handled the mile and 3/16 last time out. He's by Dubawi. His dam's a full sister to a Group 3 winner at 14 furlongs. The second dam was a Group 3 winner at 1.5 miles on the turf. So distance shouldn't be an issue as it pertains to the Belmont Stakes for Rebels Romance. A Godolphin homebred Mike Smith will take the mount for internationally renowned trainer Charles Appleby. You mentioned the UAE Derby. Mike, Francisco D'Ina, the Japanese horse, finished 6th in that race. He came back and didn't exactly light the world on fire in the Preakness. I think you're right. The UAE Derby probably wasn't a strong field, but that being said, this horse might catch the Belmont field that isn't exactly of the highest quality as well.
Yeah, well, that's certainly true. I mean, it feels like the 3-year-olds over here probably still have some improving to do. I won't be surprised when several of them do start to improve now, Dan. But listen, he's going to ship over here. He's going to face a pretty big field, it feels like. He's going to have some horses. Of course, the way that these horses are campaigned now, who are off of plenty of rest here after skipping the Preakness. So it's not going to be an easy spot for this horse. But this horse has been here for a while now. They shipped him over to prepare for this race, and he's talented. This horse can run a little bit. We'll see what kind of trip he gets. You know, his first 2 starts on synthetic, he showed really good tactical speed. I thought since then, in his dirt races, he's been more of a closing type, and I wonder how that will work for him in the Belmont.
And I think that's a very good point, considering that the pace of the Belmont, even at 1.5 miles, is likely to be comparable or even faster than the paces he's been seeing overseas. So this horse might have a lot of work to do as the field enters the second turn of the Belmont Stakes. But you're right, he has also been here. He has been training at Belmont, and he should be acclimated. Rebels Romance is going to be a price in the Belmont Stakes. And if you're just not a fan of the horses that are coming out of the Derby or Preakness, or if you think that this crop is in disarray, you could certainly do a lot worse than a horse that's won 4 of 5 starts and was impressive in the UAE Derby.